Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. The higher the goal, more is the demand of sacrifice of the lower. If we want to go in a higher class, we have to give up our hang-up or attachment to the lower class. Therefore, here in this 12th chapter, the teacher is telling us that first we have to fix a higher goal. Second thing, we have to be dedicated to the goal that we have selected. And third thing, it is not a passive acceptance, but it is an active participation. When these three things happen, then there is a directional progress that is achieved in life. Therefore, how do we do this? Yesterday the teacher told us, as long as we are able to invoke this faculty in us, which faculty? When we are able to fix our mind to the given job at our free will for the required length of time, then alone success is guaranteed. Whether it is in the outer world or it is in the spiritual world. So, Maya Veshya Mano Yemam Nitya Yukta Upasate Shraddhaya Parayopetaha Teme Yukta Tamamataha. So here the teacher says, you had asked me two questions. Those who are following the path of the attributeless reality, the absolute standpoint, and those who are living in the relative world and want to progress between the two, who are the better knowers of the path of reality. So the teacher says, don't compare. One of the reasons how the mind is born, how the mind is sustained, and how the mind becomes a prison for us. The other day somebody met me and, Swamiji, I have been listening to you for last so many years only on TV. Now I have a great fortune of having heard you live performance. And afterwards, next statement. I have never been able to appreciate anybody speaking. You are the best. I said, Amma, stop here. The moment you start comparing, the mind is created. Mind can exist only on the food of comparison. If there is no option given to the mind disappears. This is how those people who are in the software business, I call them softies. But they are very hard to tackle. Because throughout their life they have learnt only one thing. The options, the options, the options. The more the options you give, you are getting lost in the relativity. So, if our attention is on this aspect of the mind, let this mind be not lost in comparison, in evaluation, in judgment. Then only the mind will be able to be fixed to the given job for the required length of time. So, Mai Aveshya Mano Yemam Nitya Yukta Upasate Shraddhaya Parayopetaha Teme Yukta Tamamataha. So what is the strength with which they are able to do this? Because they have got a tremendous inner strength. Inner strength is technically called as Shraddha or the faith. It is the inner strength, the faith or the Shraddha, which alone keeps us going in our life. What we know about tomorrow? Nothing. But we keep on living only on this blind faith. At least tomorrow will be better. Isn't it? I read somewhere, don't complain about today's terrible day. Tomorrow may be worse. So accept the world and live cheerfully. So this Shraddha is the inner strength with which we can pull on our life. Then only we can really fulfill our existence in this world. Up to here we have seen yesterday. Now, the question that was asked by Arjun, whether this is superior or that is superior, whether we should talk about the reality as attributeless, formless reality, or we should talk about the reality with the forms and the attributes. These are the two classes on which the total humanity is divided as regards the God's concept is concerned. And this is where which makes all the difference. So when there are people having their way of thinking that the Lord is without name and form, without attributes and qualities, and therefore they are intolerant to those who are worshipping the divinity with the name and the form. And this is how the whole world is divided. And then they will try to prove that ours is the only way. How do we prove? Only by the strength of money or the strength of the muscle. No logic, no reason. Now here the teacher is telling in the third verse of 12th chapter, Ye tu aksharam anirdesham avyaktam paryupasate sarvatragam achintyam cha kutastam achalam dhruvam tanyemendriya gramam sarvatra samabuddhayaha te prapnonti mameva sarvabhuta hite rataha. Now the most funny part is, those who are seeking the attributeless, formless, absolute reality, they ultimately end up into the reality with the name and the form. See? Because where will you go? We are in the name and the form, and even after having realized the attributeless reality without name and form, you have to live with your body which is with the name and with the form. Where will you run away? So here the teacher says, Ye tu. Tu means with a specific emphasis. What is the emphasis? Those who always think and talk and seek this attributeless absolute reality, and this is explained through the word aksharam, that which is indestructible, anirdesham, that which cannot be indicated, avyaktam, which is unmanifest, sarvatragam, which is present everywhere, achintyam, which cannot be contemplated upon, kutastham, the very foundation of our every experience, achalam, which is not moving, changing at all, dhruvam, which is firm. Now, these are all the arrow marks which are meant for contemplation on the reality. Now see what happens whenever we are taking any word. I gave you yesterday one example, today I will give another one. Like anirdesham. Anirdesham means what? That which cannot be indicated. And when it cannot be indicated, how are we going to contemplate upon? So what we do? We have our own imagination. And those imaginations are held by us as the real one. And then everybody will have his own imagination. Therefore, anirdesham, this one word I'll explain you. See, when we talk about space, recently I was in Pilani, I spoke there on time and space for 5 days. And came to a conclusion. Time and space are the two parameters, two things which do not exist, but which make the existence miserable. Isn't it? Can we prove the space? Can we prove the time? No, it cannot be proved. So, how many times spaces are there? Which space we are talking about? Are we talking about the gross space? Are we talking about the mental space? Are we talking about the solid space? Or we are talking about the cyber space? Latest addition to the list of spaces. The other day somebody asked me, Swamiji, I want to come and meet you. How do I contact you? I said, you contact me in cyberspace. I am available there. But how do I do that? I said, send me emotional blackmail. Email is emotional blackmail, send me there. And when I will open my cyberspace, and then I will also blackmail you. Mail you black. Let us put it this way. So, all these spaces, when we have to indicate them, see how difficult it is. One example I gave you earlier. One of my military friend in Delhi, long time back, about 15, 20 years before, he took me to his Space Research Institute, Defense Space Research Institute, and he showed everything. See, when I phone from here, there is no wire, but it goes to the satellite and it comes back, and this is how we are controlling. And this is called as space research. And after everything was over, then kindly ask if you have got any questions. So I asked a stupid question. If you don't ask question, you are a stupid. If you ask a stupid question, you are intelligent. So I asked him. I said, what is the name of this organization? So after listening to Ramayana, the question is, Ramayana is a story of about whom? About Krishna or Sudama? So he said, looked at me with a disgust and contempt. Anyway, this is called as Space Research Institute. I said, will you please define space? When you are conducting research on space, space has to be defined. You cannot work on an undefined parameter. You cannot work. So he said, see, look here, I just showed you, it was so simple. That when I send the signal from here to the satellite, and then it comes here, this is what we do. I said, you have not talked one word about the space. You are talking about the object hanging in the space. So how do you call it as a space research? So, when it is said, Anirdesham, the truth cannot be indicated. You know why? Because whatever is spoken of by the world, it is reduced to the unreality. Because every word is born in time, remains for some time and disappears. The reality is the silence which never begins, which never ends. So when we are able to understand the language of silence, then alone the reality is indicated. One day one girl came with a diary, Swamiji, please give me some message. I said, okay, dear. So I wrote, if you can understand my silence, you will understand my words. Swamiji, what you have written this? I said, I have already mentioned what I have to mention. If you cannot understand the silence, you will never understand the word. In silence, the truth is revealed without creating the duality of subject-object. That reality
which is not in relation to anything, and therefore anirudesham. In that, the indicated and the indicator disappear, and therefore anirudesham. See how difficult it is if we are wanting to contemplate on this. Who can do this? He who has two important qualities. One, absolute distraction about the total world. Then only, not otherwise. Otherwise what happens? Many times, these grandparents are more attached to the grandchildren and the teens. And when they are watching the TV, suppose the other day one grandfather told me, Swamiji, have you seen that Krishna serial? I said, no, I have seen the real one. Why see the serial? So, in the Krishna serial, when I have seen that small Krishna, do you know, I was reminded of my grandson. I said, Ram, Ram, Ram. By looking at the ridiculous, we should be able to remember the sublime. But in your case, it is happening the other way around. By looking at the sublime, you are reminded of the ridiculous. See? Because you are fixed there. So instead of being reminded of the Lord, we are getting attracted and caught up in the world. Why? Because there is no distraction. That is why it is very difficult to focus mind on the absolute reality which is beyond the scope of any indication. So, avyaktam, that it is unmanifest. Now go on contemplating on this. What is unmanifest? There is only one thing which is unmanifest, and that is you. See? The moment you focus attention on the eye, everything like a telescopic antenna is absorbed, collapsed. Avyaktam. Then sarvatragam, that which is not conditioned by any space, where there is nothing like here or there. Sarvatragam. Now all these words, they become a noise if we don't experience. Do you know the meaning, rather difference between the words and the noise? I do not know Chinese, and if somebody comes and talks to me, Ching pong tang tong. Now when that ching pong tang tong fellow will talk to me, I say, hey, what nonsense you are talking? Because I don't understand the meaning of those words. But he is telling me, it's not nonsense. I am telling you, even you are free. Now see, when the words do not carry meaning, they become a noise. Is it not? Now, these words, Aksharam. Let us go to Akshardham. Suddenly, you reach Ahmedabad, and before reaching Ahmedabad, those terrorists come in front of your mind, and all that, everything is reduced to the ridiculous. Because our mind is conditioned. Therefore, the meaning of this word Aksharam is zero, and therefore, this word Akshara is a noise. When we are told, Tatvamasi, Aham Brahmasmi, in that Aham is one noise, Brahma is another noise, and Asmi is third noise. Because neither the Aham is recognized, what is the meaning of Aham, nor the meaning of Brahma is understood or recognized, nor there is any recognition of the word Asmi. That's why I know so. It is only a noise. Or Krishna, 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 Sharanam Mama, Krishna, Sharanam Mama. One person asked me, Swamiji, why these Vaishnavas are chanting a wrong mantra? So what happened? You know what they are telling? Sri Krishna Sharanam Mama. How can Sri Krishna will come Sharan to me? I said, do you know even 1% of Sanskrit? This Sri Krishna Sharanam Mama, that doesn't mean Sri Krishna will come Sharan salute to me. It means the Sri Krishna is my refuge. Oh, this is the meaning. See? So the word mantra Sri Krishna Sharanam Mama was a noise for him, no meaning. So all these words, Sarvatragam, Achintyam, Aksaram, this attributeless reality, when we are trying to focus attention, it becomes a noise meaningless. Now, if we have to focus attention on this, what is the qualification required? Now, the three qualifications are indicated by the teacher. It's not for anybody, Tom, Dick and Harry. First, Sanyemendriya Gramam, perfect control over all the senses and the organs of action and mind. When it is not there, we are helpless victims of our own existence. See what happened recently, yesterday or somewhere I went. And whenever we go, naturally there are people, and then Swamiji, do namaskar, do namaskar. Now the father, mother, they are standing like electric posts in the Vivekananda pose. And they want their child to do namaskar. Now he is a product of electric post. How can he bend? Isn't it? Now then he says, Swamiji, see, these days, children don't listen. I don't know what to do. I said, you do twice. Isn't it? Now see how pathetic we feel. You tell your own child, beta, don't eat chocolate too much. Your teeth will be spoiled. Eat, Baba, eat my head. See how pathetic we feel when our own children don't listen to us. We know they are going the wrong way. Now go one step further. When our mind doesn't listen to us, when our senses are enslaving our own existence, such a pathetic victim of poverty is not qualified to contemplate on the attributeless reality. Very important. In the third chapter we were told, when Arjuna asked this question, Oh Lord, kindly tell me why we go the wrong way. Asakena prayuktoyam papam karati purushaha anichannapi vasneya baladiva niyojitaha. What is that we go the wrong way? What is the reason? The teacher says, Kamayesha krodayesha rajoguna samudbhavaha. It is the desire, alliance, anger which compels us to go the wrong way. So unless we conquer the desire, if we have to conquer the desire, here are they. There are three abodes. Indriyani mano buddhi asyadhisthana uchyate. The desire, alliance, anger or the kama krodha, they have three loci from where they attack. The first locus is Indriyani, the senses. The second locus is the manaha, the mind. And the third locus is the intellect. When the desire is taking possession of our sense organs and organs of action, there is a chance that we can control. When the virus of desire has penetrated at the level of the mind, we become emotionally weak. And when our desires are not fulfilled, we go into depression, frustration. अब जी के क्या करेंगे? See? And
And when this virus of desire penetrates deep into the intellect, then fulfillment of my desire is my right. So the adharma, the unrighteousness becomes the right of our life. Therefore, the teacher says, if you really mean business on this path, start from tasmat tvam indriyani adauniyamya bhartarshava. Have full control over your senses, organs of action. Sant Gyaneshwar tells, there is one two-in-one sense organ and organ of action, and that is our tongue. It goes on wagging uncalled for, isn't it? This wagging of tongue has created more problems than anything in this world. Second thing, it is the tongue alone which is becoming the first sense organ, and therefore a small child. I don't like milk, I want coffee. Give one. This is called as coffee. Now tell what you like. So here from that child has learned, I like this, I don't like this. And this is the sense organ which closes the last. When somebody is on deathbed, as Dadaji, doctor has told that now your time has come. Do you have any last desire? Beta, I have not taken for so many days, mirchi ka pakoda. And finished. Not remembering God. Why? The slaves of the senses. Therefore, unless we develop this faculty, friends, please remember, these are the basic things to be learned in life if we want to live our life really on the scientific footing. See, when we are told that observe Ekadashi, or observe Thursday, or observe Monday, don't take food, don't take non-vegetarian, don't take onion, garlic. It is not that they are inimical to all those things. It is for helping us. When you for the first time decide, okay, now I want to change myself. We declare at home, I will observe Ekadashi. You told on Dashmi, the 10th day. And then Ekadashi comes. And then you start already, my God, I have never done, whether I will be able to survive whole day without food, how it can be done. Then we find out the loophole. This is what the income tax practitioner and the CAs do. That's why they are called as the holy profession. They find out only the whole. Isn't it? So, we also find out, Ekadashi, we should not eat rice. Go to South India. I like South Indian Ekadashi or South Indian Upvas. Except rice in white color, everything is allowed. Sabji, pakoda, puri, paratha, everything is allowed. And if you go to Gujarat, Rama, Krishna, Govinda, it is more taxing to the stomach than the normal food. Isn't it? If you go to Rajasthan, what lovely food you get on Ekadashi. Now that is not the purpose. The purpose is you decide not to take food and don't take. Only for few moments you will be going through a very great torture, lack of confidence and insecurity. Only for some time. Once you cross that barrier and thereafter there is no problem. And when you go through that experience of self-discipline, you know what happens? You discover the self-confidence in you. Hey, I can do this. To develop the self-confidence are all these techniques. It is not to torture us. See? And if we are not able to develop self-confidence, we are not leading our life scientifically. Please remember, the other day, one person asked me this question. Swamiji, I read Ramcharitmanas and I go to temple, I chant the Lord's name, Sri Ram, Jai Ram, I have done so many malas, every day I do. And yet I don't know, nothing is falling in right place, everything is going wrong, what I should do, why this is happening? I said, this is happening because you are doing all this. I was thinking like that. Because other people are not doing anything of this thing. And they are very happy. See, why these things happen? Because we have a wrong notion. If I chant the Lord's name, things around me will change. They will not change. You have to change. Very important. The whole Bhagavad Gita was told to Arjuna. As a result of this discourse of 17 chapters, the situation of the battlefield did not change. It is Arjuna who changed. See? Don't have that wrong understanding or notion. Spiritual life means ability to change the world. No. Spiritual life means ability to negotiate through the same world where we failed earlier. That is called a spiritual life. Those who are constantly struggling to change the world, those who want to save this world, they are saved off. The world is the same. Therefore, friends, how do we develop that faculty? This is the first step. Sanyemendriya Gramam. That is why one of the best technique I tell you. Don't give any choice to yourself. Don't ask for options. We don't have to become Karodpati. Let us be a Rodpati. Better. Lesser the choice you give yourself, the more competent you become in life. The more choice you give yourself, less competent you become in life. See, there are some people who are attached to bathrooms. And one day, when I was going to Badrinath, one person, a friend of mine from American Embassy in Delhi, his name was Mac. I used to call him Mac. I don't know what his name. And he was very close. He used to come for my talks. He said, hey Swami, I like to come this time to Badrinath. Please come. He has paid the money, everything. And just one day before he said, Swami, I am sorry, I had to cancel. But you keep the money. I said, okay, I will not return the money because your seat is already there. So, I can't come. I said, any problem? He said, no, not much problem. The problem is dogs. Where will I leave my dog? So I am so much attached to the DOG that I am renouncing the GOD. Attachment to these worldly things will never allow us to progress in life. If you see all those people who have progressed in their life, they are those ones who have left their place and gone away from their place. Had G.D. Birla been staying in that Chirama or Pilani, he would never have become such a big man. He would have been only weighing how much is the, the rice and the wheat per kilo. That's it. All those who have achieved in life, they had this freedom, courage, dignity and commitment to leave the place and go ahead. See? Take our Bombay. Those people who have migrated here from many places, they have proved their mettle, then they can stay here. And those who are born and brought up and to be buried in Bombay, they are same like them. Very important. Therefore, unless we develop that confidence, we cannot go ahead. And to develop that confidence, this is the technique. Sannimendriya Gramam. Perfect control over ourselves. Friends, to talk doesn't require any control. To stop, you require control. See? When the mic comes in front, it corrupts your wisdom. It loots your discrimination. And unless somebody starts throwing the tomatoes, we don't stop. There was one man, he had a bump on his head. Hey, what happened? Oh, nothing. These useless people of this Bombay city. What happened? When I went for my lecture, for asking for the votes, they have thrown tomatoes and therefore the bump has come. By tomatoes, the bump has come. Your head is so soft or what? Softer than the tomato? No, the tomatoes were packed in tins. So, pravritti, getting involved, and nivritti, the freedom to withdraw. When this is achieved, then only we have self-control. When we say we have control over our car, what do we mean? Do we mean I have a car and such a perfect control on my car that I have parked it in the garage and never take it out? That is not control, that is the parking of the car. Control of the car is you are driving perfectly well. When required you can increase the speed. When required you can stop it. Turn the way you want. Then it is called as control. In the same manner, the faculties that the Lord has given us, use them judiciously, intelligently, with discrimination, but never become the slave of any one of them. Then only your self-confidence, the inner strength will be invoked. Sannimendriya Gramam. And second thing, Sarvatra Samabuddhayaha. The first was for developing the confidence. Second thing, for changing the vision. Unless our vision has undergone a creative, positive change, our perceptions will not change. And unless our perceptions change, our interaction will not change. Unless our interaction changes, our experiences will not change. And unless our experiences change, the quality of our life will not change. So where from we start? We start from the vision. How you look at the world. When you look at the world with the attitude or the vision of this is the world for me to enjoy, what will happen? We will become only bhoga pradhana, the indulgent to the level of perversion. See? But if you look at the same world with a different vision, Isha Vasimidam Sarvam Yatkincha Jagatyam Jagat, the whole world is nothing but expression of the divinity. You cannot think of getting indulged with the divinity, but you will submit, surrender with love and reverence to the whole world. This is what is the second technique, Sarvatra Samabuddhayaha. All the problems come in our life because of the Vishama Buddhi, because of the biasness that is introduced in our knowledge. See what happens when it is my child, he has to be perfect. When it is somebody's child, I don't know how people don't discipline their children, The children have to be disciplined. But when it comes to my child, it's okay. The whole problem is only my versus not mine. See? Bhagavad Gita is beginning with this only problem. Mamaka Pandavaschaiva kima kurvata Sanjaya. Hey Sanjay, tell me, my children and Pandu's children, what they are doing? The moment my versus not my comes, this world of relativity is created, where relativity is taken as real. the struggle and the fight begins. See? Sarvatra samabuddhayaha. Now, see what is the meaning of sarvatra samabuddhayaha. When you are in a congregation and there are so many people and all are talking in English, and then you come across somebody and you suspect that this must be a Gujju or a Bengali or a Mallu. You know, Mallu means a Malayali, Gujju means a Gujarati, and a Bang means a Bengali. So, I suspect that this fellow is a Gujju, and then I go and talk to him in Gujarati. And he responds in Gujarati, "Are, where from you are?" "I am from Jamnagar." "Why, there is lot of jam there or what? Jamnagar." "No, I am from Bhavnagar." And immediately from the whole crowd, you find someone whom you belong to. See? In the same manner, if we are able to find out one common denominator, and what is that? In and through all of us, there is one divine thread which is going and keeping us alive in this world. If that principle is recognized by us, there cannot be but love for everybody, not because of ABCD factors, but in spite of all the negativity. Sarvatra samabuddhaya. Friends, the vision that will teach us to see oneness and not the divisions. The vision that will give us this understanding that in the multiplicity there is but one reality. That is a scientific vision. This is the basic problem in our country. We are Gujaratis, Marathis, Bengalis, Biharis, UPians, all the time. But we refuse to be Indians. You know, the other day somebody asked me, "Swamiji, how come, these people are so united? Like, here also they have started North Indian Association. And if you go in Calcutta, there is a Maharashtra Mandal. If you go to Delhi, there is a Kerala Samaj." I said, do you know, if you have a little bit of understanding, there is never a Kerala Samaj in Kerala. There is never a Maharashtra Mandal in Maharashtra. There is never a Gujarati society in Gujarat. When they go out, they become minority. And to protect their minority status, they become united out of necessity, not out of wisdom. See? And therefore, this understanding, Sarvatra Samabuddhayaha, if we are able to see that one divine spark in every one of us, our vision will change. And friends, this we all do. When we go to the doctor to get ourselves operated, that time what is the thing that we see in the doctor? Excuse me doctor, I want to get my heart operated, but before I go further, I want to know, what is your gotra? Are you Bharadwaj gotra or Kashyap? No, I am a Mohammedan. Krishna, 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 Krishna. Then I go to another doctor. No, I go to the doctor only with one qualification, that he knows where the heart is. Then only it is possible. In the same manner, who is the right kind of person? Everyone through whom the divinity is expressing. And when our understanding reaches that level of divinity, Sarvatra Samabuddhayaha. Now, the third quality, Sarvabhuta Hite Rataha. Sarva bhuta hite rataha means the one who is engaged in the welfare of the whole world. Please remember one very important principle. Never get involved in any social work and destroy the society. What is required is, let goodness come out of you as a byproduct of your wisdom. That is important. Cows are kept for milk. The cow dung is a byproduct. We don't keep the cows for cow dung cakes. No. It comes. In the same manner, when you grow spiritually, when your understanding is from the absolute standpoint, goodness will be natural to you. Rather than trying to be goody, let that goodness become by default. When this happens, that is called as Sarva Bhuta Hite Rataha. If you go, to various holy places like Badrinath or Haridwar or Rishikesh, and when you see various, places for staying, Maratha Samaj Dharmashala, then Maheshwari Dharmashala, then Gujarati Dharmashala. Is it Dharmashala or Adharmashala? If you are not a Gujarati, you cannot get a place. If you are not a Maratha, you don't get a place. If you are not a Maheshwari, you don't get a place. This is meant for only Kachi Lohana people. Dharamshala. It is a cartoon of Dharam. See? Sarva Bhuta Hite Rataha. Let goodness become a way of our life, rather struggling to do good to others. And the highest goodness to the world, if you take it with you, you have learned the whole Bhagavad Gita. One day I was going to one Mahatma's Samadhi near Pilani in Tirava. And that Mahatma, his name is very peculiar. Name is normal, his mantra is very peculiar. His name is, he was a Siddha Purush, Pandit Ganesh Shastri. And he told Birlaji to go to the west and all things happened. His Samadhi is there. And his mantra, he used to only say that. Everywhere in that Samadhi, only one letter is written, da. Now, what is the meaning of da, Bhagavan knows. So, when I was going to that holy place, the person who was driving me, he said, Swamiji, he is involved in some social work and all that. He said, Swamiji, what is the best service to the society that I can do? Tell me. I said, I'll tell you, but you will not do it. This also I tell you. No, please stay. I said, the best service to the society is be happy. There cannot be more better service to the society. So he asked me, Swamiji, if I am happy, how can you be benefited? I said, there will be one miserable person less coming to me. That is the highest benefit for me. After I spoke to him like this, just out of fun and the truth. The truth is always funny. It is not serious. So, we had the darshan of that place, and when we are coming out, on that wall, the same thing was written. Being happy is the highest social service. How simple it is. Sarva bhuta hite rataha. Now tell me, whom do you want to go and talk to? The one whose face is like that Bengan ka bharta all the time. Why you are like that? Manufacturer's defect. Do you like to talk to a person who is having such an, depression? Even the Bhagwan will think that is not there. God has given us that infinite joy, the bliss, the happiness. Let it manifest through us in its full glory. That is all. Sarva bhuta hite rataha. Therefore, if you really want to do good to the world, be cheerful and happy and talk to everybody in this world with respect and reverence. One example I'll tell you. This I had told earlier in my Hindi talks. See, one day I was going in somebody's car and after 2 hours of drive, when I got down with that Amma, before getting down itself, I patted the driver. I said, Mahatma Ji, you have kept the car so neat, clean, beautiful, perfect. You deserve a hug. So when he came out of the car, I hugged him, kissed him. I said, keep it up. And then I went inside. So the lamp and all that is there. So that was being done with the Ganga, Yamuna, Saraswati. So after that was done, I said, Amma, what happened? Are you so unhappy that I have come? I'll go back. No, Swamiji, please don't do all that. I said, what happened? Why are you crying? He said, Swamiji, this driver is with us for last 4 years. And from day one, he is so meticulous, beautiful, clean and neat. He doesn't smoke, he doesn't drink, he doesn't go here and there and gossip. He sits very calm and quiet. Never is late even by 1 second. He doesn't talk one word. He has got all the positive qualities. And every time I wanted to say to him, but something pulled me back. But if somebody has got something wrong, to tell somebody's fault, we have a loudspeaker in our voice. But to appreciate somebody's positive qualities, we feel shy how to tell that you are good. If you are a rascal, I can tell you. Sarva bhuta hite rataha. Let us develop this faculty. And once you develop this faculty, you know what will happen? You will be at home with everybody. It doesn't matter who is the other person. For that one technique I tell you, Sarva bhuta hite rataha. Whenever you address to anybody, address with respect and reverence. When you address somebody, Mahatma Ji, after that, can you make a statement, Mahatma Ji, maar dunga? You cannot say. Isn't it? And suppose you talk to somebody, Abhe, kya kar raha hai? So that, can you say like this, Abhe, kya kar rahe hai? You cannot. Because the moment you begin your thought with an attitude of respect and reverence, you have done highest good to the whole world. Because you can respect and reverence somebody when you have seen something great in him or her. Recognition of greatness in the people is the highest good. Sarva bhuta hite rataha. Now, after having told this is what is called as the path of attributeless reality if you want to contemplate. Now the teacher says, further in the 5th verse, Kleshodhikataras tesham avyakta sakta chetasam avyakta hi gatir dukkham deha vadbhira vapyate. Arjun, I'll tell you one thing. This sounds very good. But kleshaha adhikatara tesham. It is not so simple. It is terribly difficult. Why it is difficult and for whom it is difficult? It is difficult for dehavadbihi. As long as we consider ourselves to be the body with the name and the form, to recognize the divinity without name and form is impossible. It is not possible. Because the moment your mind drops the name and the form, you start snoring in the meditation. Krrr, krrr. Oh, I had a sound meditation. You must have heard sound sleep. I have seen sound meditations. And then they have got this problem. Swamiji, I don't know what happens, normally I am alright, but whenever I go to Satsang, I feel so sleepy. Because we have never experienced a thought-free mind. Because the moment the mind gives up the identity with the gross body, it enters into a complete withdrawal and the deep sleep. Therefore, kleshaha adhikatara tesham, first reason. Second reason, there are two things. One is dispassion and second is discrimination. Both of them are extremely essential to peep deep beyond the frontiers of our present knowledge. Many of us have dispassion, but no discrimination. Such people, one example I'll give you, last time probably I told you, there was one Swamiji, one Maharaj in Rishikesh, long time back, tremendous dispassion. And he was very well read, educated, and then he went there, and one day he thought, this also I must give up. This disease of Vairagya, dispassion is very terrible. We feel giving up the object is called as dispassion. No. The real understanding of dispassion is a recognition of the fact nothing ever belongs to you in this world. Right from your gross body onwards. When you recognize this fact, then alone you have dispassion. Like, I have dispassion for this camera. Means what? I have clear understanding it doesn't belong to me. See? Now see, in this whole world, what really belongs to us? Start from the thing that we consider ourselves to be. This body. The day this clicks, your attachment to the world is zero. Dispassion. Now when you have dispassion, then the second thing comes discrimination. If you imagine a wrong understanding of dispassion, now what is the dispassion? I don't eat onion, I don't eat garlic, I don't go hotel, I don't travel by this, I only walk on foot. Why? I am a dispassionate person. I don't put on the iron clothes. One day one person told me, Swamiji, excuse me, but I just want to tell you something. You are a Swami, I said, by mistake. Next. He said, it is impossible to talk to you. I said, keep quiet. He said, no, I will not keep quiet. I said, talk, I have no problem. Say, according to the sannyasa, you are not supposed to put on the stitched clothes and iron clothes. Why do you put on? I said, according to sannyasa, means, naiva kashaya vasasa, dehanyaso hi sannyasaha, naiva kashaya vasasa. Bhagwan Shankaracharya says, sannyasa is not determined by the color of the cloth and external makeup. So, we are tailor-made sannyasi. The real sannyasa is naham deho mahatmeti. The ability to recognize and live this knowledge. Never I was this body, nor I will be any time. Living through the body and not living as the body is the real meaning of sannyasa. See? Therefore, as long as we are identified with the body, deha vaddihi, and we do not have the required quantum of dispassion and discrimination. Walking this path of inquiry and the attributeless reality will create more and more problems. And I tell you one thing further. See, what is the meaning of attribute? Attribute means anything which is indicated through words has an attribute. One day, I was explaining one mantra. Satyam vadishyami, ritam vadishyami, tanmam avatu, tat vaktaram avatu, avatu mam, avatu vaktaram, om shanti, shanti, shanti. After my explanation was over and lecture was over, one elderly man came. He said, Swamiji, you have explained this word Satyam not according to the Shankar Vedanta and it is totally wrong. I said, you forget about it. Why you worry? Drop, delete. Not like that. But this is wrong, is it not? I said, ho gayi mistake, what can I do? I can't do. Suck the word, it has gone. He said, don't you want to ask why it was wrong? I said, no, you are a wise person, I am otherwise. So what is there to ask? You know, my principle is, the best way to disagree with somebody is to agree immediately. Vado na avalambya, never get into any controversy in this world if you want to maintain your peace of mind. And those who cannot maintain their peace of mind, ek dil ke tukde hazar hue. They are frustrated individuals in this world. He said, no, but even then I'll take. I said, I am ready to listen. And then he told the traditional thing, Satya means this, that and all that. I said, okay, very good, excellent. He said, but what you told, I said, look here, I bluff and get out. I don't remember anything what I told. He said, I remember. I said, come on, tell. He said, you said, Satyam vadishyami means, I talk the truth. You did not say that I talk whatever I speak, the truth alone and nothing. Satyameva jayate. I said, look here, now I'll explain you. Satyam vadishyami means, I talk truth alone. And those who talk truth alone, they keep their mouth shut. Because truth is beyond words. Anything you speak about the truth is a bluff. The world is an illusion. Anything you discuss, describe, narrate about the illusion is also a bluff. Therefore, all the talks are solid bluff. That is what is called as Satyam vadishyami. Therefore, friends, if we really want to walk the path of attributeless reality, it is not so simple as we think. And everything is conditioned by two factors in this world. One is time, second is space. Now see, take any religion, any faith. These two factors are most prominent. And anything which is conditioned by these two factors is not attributeless. It is with attribute. For example, straight away you go and stand before Bhagavan Krishna with attributes, no difficulty. No, but I don't believe in the God with the form. Then I offer my prayer. How do you offer your prayer? By facing only the west. Why? God does not exist on the east. So the conditioning of the west is giving a form to the reality. Then I do my prayer only on Sunday. So the conditioning of time is addition of attribute. See? Anything which is conditioned by time and space is with attribute. And to say that I believe in the attribute-less reality is talking something which has no meaning. Therefore, here the teacher says that Kleshodikadarasteisham avyakta taktachetasam. Those who are extremely attached to this absolute, attributeless, non-relational reality, it is extremely difficult and troublesome for them because they themselves are attached to the name and the form of the body. So as long as we consider ourselves to be body, we have not started living scientifically. Now I'll tell you one or two important steps. Please be attentive. The first step to lead life scientifically is to accept that we are someone other than the body. Unless this first step is taken, there is no possibility of any other inquiry in life than acquire wealth, indulge in the worldly things, loot, plunder, and live like the charvak. Charvaks are those. The word charvak means charuvak, not chalu. Charuvak means their words are very tempting and very beautiful. What is there in this world? Cough your mouth. Very easy to say. But that is not life. That is lived even by the animal. So, to inaugurate a higher possibility in our life, the first step is that we are someone residing in the body and therefore other than the body. Now be very attentive. When I am looking at you and you are looking at me, is it the eyes that are seeing or there is someone behind the eyes who is seeing? See how important. Is it that my lips are talking and your drums are hearing? No. There is somebody behind the lips and there is somebody behind the drum beater. Then only the knowledge is taking place. You know, one long time back, when I was a student, Babaji student, your brahmachari staying in a big hall and no separate room, etc. Common place. And there was one student and he used to sleep with mouth open and used to so He said, "It's so disgusted, how to plug it?" One day we had kept, Rasagulla by our side. And when he came in the full mood, so I got up and took the Rasagulla. His mouth was on. And landed it inside. And he got so, why is this happening? I said, you are blessed. Bhagwan Ramachandra has dropped one Rasagulla. When there was nobody to receive the Rasagulla in the mouth, it was never appreciated and enjoyed. But when there is somebody behind the open mouth, it is difficult to close it. So there is something which is beyond the body and for whom the body is meant. Once you accept this principle, then the second step in spiritual life comes. As body we have no problem in understanding as to who we are. A young boy asked me this question. Swamiji, who am I? I said, you are a fool. Do you mean Bhagwan Ramana was? I said, no, he was not. Then why do you call me? Because he didn't ask me this question. You asked me this question. Who am I? Question becomes valid only if you accept yourself to be other than body. As a body, this question is not valid. I'm a man, I'm a woman, I'm young, I'm old, I'm beautiful, I'm awful. Where is the problem? The problem really crops up when I accept myself to be the embodied and not the body. Then the inquiry begins
as to what is my status. This is the first stage. And once this stage is taken, then there are different options depending upon your ability to pursue further are the different paths. And those paths are indicated in the subsequent stages. So, क्लेशोऽधिकतरस्तेषाम् अव्यक्ता तत्त्वचेतसाम् अव्यक्ता हि गतिर् दुःखम् देहवद्भिः अवाप्यते. And which are those paths? The teacher says, ये तु सर्वाणि कर्माणि मयि सन्न्यस्य मत्पराः अनन्येनैव योगेन मां ध्यायन्तः उपासते. This is the path which is most wonderful, most easy and possible for every one of us, because there is no special qualification required. Once we come to know this, hey, it is so simple. In this path, you don't require any special qualification. The discrimination, the distraction, the sixfold weight, the burning desire for liberation. Wow, wow, wow. You don't require that. You should have the ability to do the yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyan, samadhi. No problem. See? You don't have to go to somebody and take a mantra, and then with the mantra shakti the things will start happening in you. No mantra yoga, no laya yoga, nothing of that, no karma. There is a technique which will be easier for every human being, most easily to be followed. What is that technique? By which we can be very attentive. We can continue to live at the relative level of existence without getting corrupted from the absolute experience of the immediate. There is the technique. And what is the technique? How do we invoke? Will be the next episode. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnāt Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.